Hello YouTube, happy Mother's Day. I've hijacked my wife's channel again. Now she spends some time with my daughter, and her daughter of course, Alyssa. Um, she said I could talk about anything, but she told me to remind you that weigh-in is next week. She's not doing it this week because it's Mother's Day. And not only that, well, it's Mother's Day. But the other thing she wanted to mention was that there's still time to order from her Tupperware, the Tupperware party. There's going to be a link below. It's over next week sometime, or something like that. Anyway, she'll leave some details down below. That said, it is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers, to all you single fathers who have to play both mom and dad. Happy Mother's Day to you. Happy Mother's Day to the grandmothers, mothers-to-be, and little girls that will eventually grow up to be mothers. I know Kelly's mom is in a wonderful place, heaven, and that Kelly misses her on this Mother's Day. My mom is up in Minnesota. I talked to her today. She had lunch with my brother. She said it was a pretty good lunch. It was a place that called Witch Sandwich or something like that. She said it was pretty good. I guess somebody in New Jersey won the Powerball. I went out to Louisiana to buy my tickets and didn't win. I was looking so forward to telling my boss, 2 weeks and I'm gone. But it looks like I'll be there longer. So I hope everyone's Mother's Day is doing good. I know the phone lines are messed up because while I was talking to my mom, the phones cut out, and then it almost sounded like the phones were trying to call each other again. Because my phone started ringing as if I had just hit dial. Same with my mom's, and she's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I don't know." So she thinks it's because of it's Mother's Day and everyone's talking to moms. I said, it's either that or my dad, who passed away, is trying to contact us by interfering with our conversation. But yeah. So Sunday here in southern Mississippi, it is pretty hot out today. Sunny all day. I was out yesterday in the sun mowing my grass. It wore me out. It wore me out. Not the physical activity so much, but mostly the sun just beating down on you all day. I'm so glad I have an office job now. I do miss my construction job that I had for 20 years while I was in the military. I do miss it. But it's only been 3 minutes. What else can I talk about besides Mother's Day? I don't know. I try and save a lot of the questionable, not really tongue-in-cheek, but questionable and conversations that can get people fired up on my channel. Check it out. I'm sure my wife's got some links somewhere on these videos to my page. If you don't know about my page, let me explain a little bit. I talk about topics that need to be talked about, but because of PC and fear of retaliation from whomever, people tend not to talk about it. So that's what I talk about on my channel. I listen to stuff on the news, I read stuff on the news, I listen to talk radio, NPR, wherever. And I'll hear a topic, and if it sparks my interest, I'll voice my opinion about it. I'm not afraid to talk about it. It's not about bashing anybody. My channel's not about complaining. It's more of, let's talk, let's discuss. Let's find solutions. Let's find common ground. Let's find something we can agree on even if it's just we agree to disagree. Because some of my topics that I discussed and will discuss are ones that maybe don't have a solution. Maybe there is no true solution. And that somewhere, I always feel that the best solution is somewhere in the middle of all the opinions. Because you're going to have somebody coming from left field. You're going to have somebody coming from the right field. You're going to have someone talking about from the from the grandstands. Someone coming, discussing it from the pitcher's mound. I know I'm using baseball terminology, but you get my point. Think about it. There's 9 players on the baseball field. That's about how many opinions there could be, or maybe even more. I mean, you think about a pro baseball field, you have everyone in the stands. They all have different viewpoints. They have all different ideas and concepts and and concerns and solutions. So maybe the best solutions is when you sit down and talk about things. To shun one group, refuse to listen to a group, refuse to work with a group. I don't care who you are. I don't care how you divide up people. Men, women, old, young, left, right. This religion, that religion, this, this blood type, that blood type, whatever. You eat this, I eat that. I eat meat, you eat vegetables, whatever. However you want to divide it, if you refuse to listen to or not really incorporate, but take into account those other people, their other viewpoints. I was just telling my brother-in-law today. I said, do you realize that no 2 people are the same? Even identical twins have different physical characteristics. Their fingerprints. You can have 2 identical twins born mere seconds apart from each other. Heck, you can have a C-section and they both come out at the same time. They're going to have different fingerprints. Not only that, but their life, the way they view life, is going to be different. Their experiences, if they ever do something that the other one doesn't do, that's going to shape who they become. You can go on a fishing trip and say one of the twins is sick, so they stay home, while the other one goes fishing. Right there. That experience alone by themselves and not with the other is going to cause those 2 to have different viewpoints for something. No 2 people go into the same situation with the same set of eyes. We have been shaped by our past on what has happened to us. We have been shaped by what we've learned. We have been shaped by what we've experienced. We've been shaped by communicating with others and what they've experienced. Right? I mean, I've learned a lot by seeing other people experience it. I don't have to experience a situation myself to know whether or not to do that activity. All right? In other words, I don't need to be a smoker to know smoking's bad. I don't need to have done drugs to know the effects it could have. I don't need to have fallen over drunk and doing something, and then waking up the next day with no memory of what I did. I don't need to experience that personally to know or to have an idea of what that can become. Right? I don't need to experience skydiving to know the effects that skydiving can have on somebody. So that's my channel, to discuss a bunch of stuff. If you want to hear me talk about something, a topic maybe I haven't touched on yet, maybe a topic that I'm overlooking, or just any topic, let me know. on my channel. You can leave a comment on this channel. Just let my wife know that the message is for me. She might get confused. Oh, what? They want us to talk about what? No, I think they want me to talk about it. Whatever. But happy Mother's Day. Hope everyone's having a good Mother's Day. I know there's people out there that are not having a good Mother's Day for whatever reason. Maybe they lost their mother. Maybe they're a mother who lost their child. My mom went through that. Before I was born, she lost her first child. I can't remember exactly how long, but she never got to take the baby home. My mom's had, I was a preemie, my brother was a preemie. If what would have been my older brother, had he lived, he was probably a preemie. I don't know. I'm just taking the odds are, if I was and my brother was, maybe he was too. But he never got to go home. If you're religious, he did get to go home. He's up in heaven. But my point is, he never got to go home. My mom never got to be a mother until I was born. Then she really got to experience motherhood, changing my diaper, feeding me, watching me grow up, watching me go off to school and having to let go. Like the commercial says, raising a child is all about letting go for the parent. You got to let them go. It's time to go to school. You got to let them go. You can't sit next to them. They want to go out and play in the backyard or play with their friends. You got to let them go. You can't be in their life their whole time. It's all about letting go. And it's scary. Tell you what, it's scary. So, all you moms, happy Mother's Day. To all you fathers, we have 1 month left. But you notice how Mother's Day falls in the school year, so your child's going to bring home all kinds of artwork and everything else from mom. Father's Day, middle of summer, kids are out of school, you ain't going to get nothing. We are not going to get nothing. We're not going to get the nice artwork from school saying Happy Father's Day. We're not going to get that cool project. Now, there are kids out there that will make a project on their own. Or maybe the mom or brother or sister might help them make something. For most part, dads, you know what? I got a feeling most Father's Day dads like myself are going to be doing that day. Probably mowing the grass, yard work, maybe cleaning the house a little bit. My wife told me, she said, because she's got anxiety, and if you watch this channel at all, you know this. She had me go get her something to eat. I figured, you know what, I didn't want to, but it is Mother's Day. I'm going to treat her, I'm going to go get her something to eat. I got her what she wanted, and a little extra, because it was Mother's Day. And she told me, she said, come Father's Day, you can go get something that you want. I'm like, gee, thanks. But I mean, it's true. I mean, she's living with anxiety, and it's tough. It is tough. It's tough to live with somebody like that. I can only imagine what it would be like to go through it. I never want to go through it, and from what I hear and see of what she's going through, I don't want anybody else to go through it. So I do hope that science does come out with a cure for this. But again, if they're going to conquer that, they could probably find something to conquer every fear. My fear of falling, other people's fears of heights, some people's fears of spiders or enclosed spaces, whatever. But I think I've rattled on long enough. It's almost 15 minutes. As my wife says, I think she says, stay motivated, stay positive, motivated, determined, on track. Like, subscribe, leave comments, and I'm going to turn this back over to my wife. If she uploads it, she uploads it, and you'll get to see this. If not, you'll see something that she creates. So, as I say, my channel, see ya.